episode of the Boy Man King podcast, and I'm with my main man Chizzy. Say what's up to the people, Chizzy.
What's up to the people? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Sunday to everybody. Happy
Yeah,
Sunday.
man. And listen, we got a special guest in the building. And
Yeah.
man, it's the man behind the scenes. It's the man behind the memes. It's the man behind the reels. It's the man behind the thrills of the BMK platform. None other than the maestro mixer himself of
Mhm.
social media. The man, the myth, the legend, relentless motivation. The one who's bringing the game and the sauce all at the same time. They call him King Noel. What's up to the
Yeah.
platform, baby? Good to
That's
see you
Yo,
again,
yo,
my
yo,
guy.
I love the way you just hyped me up right there. I
intro is
appreciate that.
crazy. That
You,
intro is
you know,
crazy.
your boy coming through fresh, in the new year. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I see you, man. I said, I've been looking at some content on social media. Shit. I'm like, man, he
Yeah.
look just like Noel. I'm like, oh, that is Noel. He done cut his hair, bro. I forgot. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, it's good to see you, bro. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm doing great. How about y'all?
Good, man. I'm doing
Man, I'm
good.
blessed, man. And I'm blessed, man. Y'all say, listen, you and Chizzy forced us to push this live to another day because we couldn't mess up your weekend all-star basketball experience. So now that we've done and altered our schedule to accommodate y'all lifestyle, how do y'all feel about the weekend all-star festivities
I
so
was about
far?
to say he's trying to act like he ain't watching it, like he's not paying attention to his
But we
hand.
did it. Look, I
No.
was sacrificed for y'all, man. I'm servant leadership. I'm all about serving others. And so I will adjust my schedule to
That's it.
accommodate y'all and be here for you guys. So how does it feel so far?
Hey, I say this. Sometimes you got to pivot and adjust, though.
Mm,
That's just life.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, as far as the NBA All-Star Weekend is going, it's always a festive time. I kind of feel like it doesn't have the same appeal and gravitas that it's had in the past. The dunk competition was last night. It was like Mac
Yeah.
McClut. I guess that's his name. I don't want to mess up his name, but Mac, I'm calling Mac. He's killing it. He's killing it. His
Yeah.
dunks are
And I
phenomenal.
think it's a build up
Yeah,
of basketball in the pro ranks for those who are lovers of the game,
yeah.
where it just becomes so much more brand. You know what I mean? And shout out to LeBron who created this. He's like, oh, I can't get in the dunk contest because I don't want to mess up my brand if I don't win. I'm like, yo, that was your energy, my guy. So now Ja don't want to get in. Now Zion don't want to get in because
I
I
think he should
can't
be
mess
embedded
up
in that
my
contract.
brand. Like, what if I don't win? And it's like that's the whole spirit of competition.
Yeah.
You gotta show people you the man.
He
You know what I'm
does.
saying?
He
Chizzy,
does.
like,
He
what
does
happened
it
to the
too.
Jordan era, man? When it's like, look, me and Dominique may get me, but I'm gonna get him, and we're gonna go at it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, but they letting the underdog come in and win it all, though.
Yeah,
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 My
yeah.
yeah,
man
yeah.
coming from the G League don't want it 3 years in a row.
Bro, I don't know
Nah,
why.
man.
I don't know why
He
he has
did
a
he
tough
did some
contract.
wild stuff. But shout out to Stevan Castle out of Atlanta.
Hmm.
Man, representing Newton High School. It's like 40 minutes from the crib, man. They that boy had two dunks I never seen before in the slam dunk contest. You know what I'm saying? They kind of slept on him a little bit, but I'm
Hey,
like, your boy was kind of tough though. That one with the behind the back going the other way with the
yeah.
left. I was like, only hoopers know. That was
I,
an incredible dunk, bro.
but I had to represent for my boy because I'm still representing the Spurs Nation.
Okay.
It,
Oh,
it
Spurs
well,
Nation's wild.
when he was running up with Mac though, I was like, oh no, this gonna be a tough one.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
tough, man.
Nah, man, the young bull's tough, and he's pushing towards I think rookie of the year. I mean, he's in the top in that space, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think what I love about him is his game is composed, is going back to what we're talking about, where a lot of people taking shots at the All-Star weekend, taking shots at the NBA, just a bunch of threes, a bunch of, hey, don't hurt myself. Let me take a break, let me take a game off. And it's like, bro, people just want to see guys compete at the highest level. You know what I mean?
It's
And
gonna be
I
interesting to see.
think I think basketball is struggling more than any other sport because soccer, football, they call it Bermuda, and them guys are going at each other, boy.
Yeah,
The crowd is going crazy, not because of their brands. The crowd are going crazy because guys are fighting, competing, trying to score goals. Like, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like they mixing it up in the box when they kick a corner, the cross, like all of that is expected to be a part of competition.
yeah.
You know, in American football, hey, the Eagles smacked the Chiefs in the mouth. That
I
the
had no.
Chiefs.
I'm not a football fan, but I was 100% shocked that the
Yeah.
Chiefs ended up losing that for sure. Like
But
Patrick
but I
Mahomes.
don't know if you saw like some of the reels
Hmm,
where they showing like the line from the defensive Eagles, how they was like, when I say hitting the offensive lineman, like in their chin scrap, like they was knocking those 300-pound men, like they was like going to block, but they was getting shell shocked on how hard the
yeah,
Eagles kept hitting them over. They were showing number 3 in particular from the Eagles. I forgot my man's name, but he was just knocking every last one of them chin strap loose. And then he flexed and looked down at grown 300-pound men like, bruh, I'm finna rock your world on national television the whole day. But you like, that's what you respect. You respect guys that's like, but bump the Patrick Mahomes brand, bump the Chiefs brand. What you
coming.
respect
Yeah,
about pros, and we used to say this when I played pro ball. We will get to you, Noel. But we used to say it's pros over there too. You know what I'm saying? Like some guys like, oh yeah, you can do. Hey, Jalen Hurts is tough too.
for
You know,
sure.
Devontae Smith is tough too. Like the Eagles defense, I know we got Chris Jones over here, but they number 1 in the league. Like just because they haven't got no deal, nobody's on no commercial. Don't get it twisted. It's pros over there too. And I
Yeah,
think as men, as we transition the call to throw it to you, Noel, like part of our DNA, part of our nature is to compete,
yeah,
you
Yeah.
know, out of the spirit of competition. And what we don't want to do as men is get so emasculated or so, cordial and so, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or so be mindful of my brand. It's like part of being a man, bro,
it's competition.
is competing, is fighting, is that it's in our wiring, man. And if we don't create healthy spaces for men to express that, me and Chizzy still will hoop and talk trash. We would still like,
Mm-hmm.
even hit the weights, but hit the weights with your certain music on just to get that out of you. Like
Yeah.
just competing against myself,
Yeah,
right? And it's important that we don't try to make somebody feel less than or feel bad because a man's competitive. It's okay to be competitive,
yeah.
and it's not about beating someone, it's about being the best version of you. What's you guys' thoughts about men and competition in today's time?
I like how you spun it, dude. I like how you spun it. We went on these basketball to the game. You brought it back in, so I can respect that. But in
Yeah.
terms of competition, you know, obviously there's the external competition with you and your brothers and the people that like. So you and I, we who, you know what I'm saying. So it's that competition. Then it's a competition with yourself in terms of how are you looking in the mirror every day and saying, look, it's me versus me, sort of thing. That guy. I was listening to one of your posts the other day. I think maybe even today. How that person that you was before people's trying to keep you in that space. They're trying to
Yeah.
see that God of old.
Come
And when
on,
you get
compete
to a
against the OU. I love it,
yeah,
Chizzy.
like the old me versus the new me, like he'll get to work every day and twice on Sunday, so to speak. But that competition, me versus me, that's important. That's
Me
critical. That
versus
keeps
me.
you pushing the envelope for yourself because you never want to get to complacency, no matter where you are in your life. So I personally can respect that me versus me, especially nowadays. Like I'm reaching that 5'0". It hurts me to say it sometimes, but when I go in the basketball court and I'm looking at these young bucks, I'm in the gym and I'm looking at these young bulls, and I'm saying like you ain't ready. Wish you would look like me at 50. You know what I'm saying? Wish you
Yeah.
would still get up to the rim and still hoop like me at 50, sort of thing. So that keeps me good. That keeps me driven as well, man. So yeah, man. That's
Mm.
important. What you think, Noel?
I'm gonna tie it into basketball because we all know we have that ongoing thing that's being talked about right now. Who's the GOAT?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
And when you look at yourself, because it's always going to be that competition between the old you and the new you, who
mm-hmm.
is going to be the GOAT? Because let's be real about it, the old you is still going to be trying to talk. It's
Right.
going to be
Mm.
people that's going to be coming at you trying to remind you of how you used to be.
Mm.
Sometimes we get hard on ourselves and think, well, this is how I was,
Right.
or this was my golden era. But if we start to embrace what we are now, we're creating a new golden era.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's not like it. We're not like we used to be. I'm not the 20-year-old me now. I'm much wiser now. I
Yeah.
think about how to do things in a smarter way now
Yeah.
Mm.
because I'm hitting what 42 this year. So
Come
I'm
on.
getting up there in
Come on,
age now.
42. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got to
Come
be
on,
a little
83,
wiser now.
baby. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
We were born in 83 and Chizzy's turning 83. All in the same year. That's crazy.
But check your boy's still clean though. Your boy's clean. He's still looking young. His
Yeah.
body sometimes, as once you guys know when you hit that 40-year-old part, right, of your life, you be getting them aches and pains that you don't that you like you wake up, you go to sleep feeling one way, you wake up the next day, and you're like, I don't remember feeling this pain when I went. You know what I'm saying? So, all of that to say that it's important the older you get, the wiser you get, yeah, spiritually and intellectually, it's important to get your reps in terms of your physicality as well, because that translates into how your mental is supported as well. I don't go to the gym every day because I'm trying to be a supermodel. For me, it's just about getting those
Mm.
endorphins flowing, getting that healthy dopamine rushes from being in the gym and taking out some of those frustrations that life can throw at us, on their weights, on that exercise, on that basketball court. And I think that's largely what we're trying to create here is healthy spaces so that men
Mm.
can come and feel supported, get their reps in, still be able to come and hit the bag, the proverbial bag, whether it's emotionally or spiritually, and know that your
Yeah.
brothers and we're going to keep you accountable, and you know that this is just a natural part of the growth process in the next phase of your life. So, yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing space to be
And,
in. Sure.
and Chizzy, to your point, man, I think you give a great segue to throw it back to Noel. You guys have been so passionate about as we compete against our old selves, right? As we embrace this, I was looking. I think you put some resource in the chat if you have it in the comments about. I think Andrew Maslow was even talking about him in another study and the rites of passage in Ghana. They were like men are even not even expected to even walk into what they're called to do until they hit 40,
Yeah,
right? Because there's a physiological maturity,
sure.
right? There's a psychological maturity, but they was like your spiritual maturity don't
Yeah,
really hit until you're 40. So then it's like then you start living. But a lot of us live in the Western civilization narrative where we feel like you're old at 40 and you should have been a certain spot. You should have had a certain status. You should have had a certain bag. And you actually hit the 40 with depression instead of celebration. But what
sure.
we really want to do in this platform is celebrate. You 40, you 50, you 60,
Yeah,
bro, we're going to celebrate. And now you get to be who you really called to be, walk into who you, because now you got experiences, you got references, you
yeah,
got resources that you can leverage to build this space. But I love how the pivot Chili just made, and I want to get this to you, Noel, is that as you get into this, you got to get your reps and your routine down, right? So before you just had all this energy you talked about in your 20s, Noel, but you could just, hey, I'm a hustle over here, and then I'm gonna do the night shift over here, and then I'm gonna holler at my boy, but then I'm gonna go to church. But then after church, I got this next thing. It's like, oh wait, when you get 40, 50, you're like,
hey,
listen,
you got to manage
this
that
thing
time.
is this thing is not infinite. This thing is like I got packages of pockets of energy. I got packages of pockets of time, and I must come on somebody. I
Mm-hmm.
must run my life a certain way so I can take advantage,
Yeah,
the
for sure.
most advantage as a competitor of my old self to my new self with the time and the energy in my tank today. You know what I mean? So I must take care of myself. I must function my time. I must function my resources. I must function my relationships a certain way, day to day,
Yeah,
in order to take full advantage of who I am today. Noel, speak to that, man. What's your routine? What's your reps?
that's you, cousin.
Man, look, it, I would first say this because it's something you said that made me think about this. I was talking to a buddy of mine just yesterday, and he was talking about going to college, and I was like, man, it's never too late to
Mm,
go after that degree. And just like you were saying,
I'm
in
there, bro.
our culture, we feel like once we hit the late 30s, the 40s, it's like life is over.
Yeah,
mm,
But it's a matter of a change of your mindset that life is continuing. And
mm.
now I'm at a point now I want to celebrate these milestones because let's be
Come on.
real about it. We have seen it now that not everybody is hitting 40. Not everybody
yeah,
is hitting 50. Shucks, it's people not even hitting 30 nowadays.
yeah, Sure.
So it's one of those. Let me make the best of this day. Let me learn how to do that self-care. Let me make sure I'm getting my prayer reps in. Let me make sure
Mm,
I'm getting that meditation in. Let me make sure I'm spending time with God. Those things are important. Working out. Those things are important and critical, especially for us as men, because of the burdens that we carry. And then society wants to tell us how we're supposed to be. Then you have your woman telling you how you're supposed to be. We're being
mm,
pulled in. We should be this way instead of being how. What is God saying we should be? How is
mm,
God saying that I should be? I've been seeing a lot lately about Ephesians 5.
mm,
So what is the word saying? What is that blueprint saying of how I should carry myself, how I should navigate through life? Because society is going to always have their own perspectives on everything.
mm,
And we see it on different podcasts that they want to give relationship advice, but their advice is watered down because they're not even following the same advice, because now we're seeing those same ones giving the relationship advice that we know is toxic advice.
Yeah.
mm.
Now their relationships is
Man,
falling
please don't
apart
open that
because
can of worms because you're gonna make me itch and scratch all at the same time, bro. The
hey, but
relationship,
but
relationship space
it
is
it, it
crazy.
thinks it reminds me of something that ET said. You building it on sand.
Mm,
And all along their foundation was sand, but nobody paid attention to it. And you got it. And I'm now more conscious of who I'm surrounding myself with, because some relationships are just sand, because their
mm,
advice, they're not standing on a solid foundation.
mm,
Preach on the
And,
son.
and and you have to be
mm,
attentive to that, man. I tell you, at the beginning of this year, I wrote down everybody that I know that I have a relationship with, and I pattern them in what place should they be in my life,
mm,
because I'm a visual person. I like to plan things out. I plan stuff out all the way a month out.
mm,
And in seeing that, now I understand where each person is in my life, because not everybody can handle the personal side of me,
mm,
because I may be going through a storm and then they're running, and it's nothing against them. It's just what they can handle and they can tolerate. They can't
mm,
handle my storms. They may not know how to bro, let's pray.
Yeah.
I
mm,
could you could we Chizzy, you and I both know we could talk to Crump about something we both going through right now. The first thing Crump is gonna do, let's pray.
mm.
It's either gonna be let's pray or he's gonna give you a book.
Or
And
both.
yeah. So, but that is important to understand who is in your circle. You got to do that assessment, because again, some of those relationships aren't built on solid foundation.
Mm,
And if you're trying to seek advice or trying to ask somebody to pray for you, and that relationship is on sand, you're finding yourself going in a deeper hole. It's quicksand.
Yeah.
yeah. So no. Before we go to Chizzy, right? Give the people as you compete, man. You done cut your hair. You got your whole new swag on. You know what I'm saying? You done went back a couple years. You know what I'm saying? You getting fresh to death. But you going through a transition where you're being very conscious and intentional about every aspect of who you are and why you are. Give the people two things, right? And Chiz, I'm gonna get this question to you as well. What two things that you learned in this new version of you, right? This competing against the old version. Two things that's uncompromising, your non-negotiable terms that you now apply to your life, that you didn't apply to your life umpteen years ago as a man, that you now apply to your life, that no matter what, these two things I do so that I can be the best version and show up as the best version of me. Period.
Only two?
At least two. Let's say at least two. We'll start with Noel with at least
I,
two for the people.
I was sitting here trying to think what two could I pick, but I say in this journey, and I'm gonna bring this up. Just recently, earlier this year, I broke down what it means to have that relentless mindset. If you
Mm,
look at my content a lot, I'm talking about the relentless mindset.
mm-hmm,
And what that consists of is the perseverance, being a learner, being empathetic, discipline, self-control, leadership, emotional intelligence, the faith, the self-care. And I would say if I'm gonna pick two out of those, one is the emotional intelligence. Man, I've become so big on mastering my emotional intelligence
Mm-hmm.
and also my faith. My faith is the biggest part of it
Yeah.
because my faith is the foundation for everything that I'm building up. Because if I don't have that foundation of faith, everything else is just gonna fall apart anyway.
Yeah.
But um and in all of that, I've been on a journey since last year of self-mastery. Me and Dr. Lakiba has been talking about that, the past few sessions about, becoming that best version of me, having that self-control and, basically having those fruits of the spirit because I
Mm-hmm.
want to become that best version of myself. And that's that self-mastery. And that entails having that self-control because a lot of these things that, we're trying to build, that we're trying to hold on to, it takes self-control to even be able to navigate through these journeys because even when you're going down, you can go down a journey or down a road, you're going to see all different types of distractions. You're going to see the women pulling at you this way. You're going to see the pornography pulling at you this way. When you get depressed, you're going to see the alcohol trying to pull you at this way. That's going to take that strong self-control.
Mm.
So I had to learn, and I'm still learning to master it in certain areas to be strong and have that self-control.
What are you doing? So let's give them two things. You gave some great attributes. You gave some great principles. But what are two things that you're doing, whether it be for self-control, emotional intelligence, or your faith? What are the two things that you do day to day?
Prayer and affirmations.
When do you do it?
First thing in the morning. And then on the way to work, I'm either listening to a book or I'm listening to worship music. I'm worshiping on my way to work.
Man, okay, give them a book that they can listen to on their way to work that you recommend right now.
Man, hold on. Let me go into the vote, man.
Sweet.
Yeah, let's get it. Because
It's
people, I mean, because I think men are struggling with the steps. It's like, man, I want to work on my faith. I want to work on my emotional intelligence. I want to work on my self-discipline. What do I actually do? You know what I mean? What guardrails do I put up? And then
Hey,
we're gonna
Connor,
give it to you,
let
Chizzy.
me answer that question real quick before you go. I just want to say, right, to everyone that's watching and listening, I think it's important to recognize the environment that you live in and you function in, and what you can do in that environment to 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 identify and to sort of put yourself in a position to lead. And I say that to mean like, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you talking to? What type of visuals are getting
It's
into your
good.
brain, eye gates and your ear gates? So I think the first step could be really, really taking taking an analysis or making an analysis of the influences, the things
I
that
love it.
influence
An
you the most
assessment.
every day, and just assessing what are these things. Because once you identify what the problems are, the solutions would just flow naturally. So if I
Yeah.
want this particular outcome, these are the things that I have to put in place to ensure that I reach that outcome.
Mm,
And it's not something that you just do once. Like this is consistent. We talk about making a shift in your lifestyle and how you function. These things take time. It takes time to achieve that. So you have to give yourself grace first. But the second thing you have to do when you consider that grace is you have to know that intentionality with your surroundings is vital and important. So you can start to shift the culture of who you are. We talked about shedding the old person and getting into the new person that you're trying to be, taking stock, taking an assessment of those things that are a distraction for you or that can enhance you. That's an important starting point. So I just want to interject that a little bit. I'll let Noel go real quick.
Yeah.
yeah, for
And
sure.
and I got something to say to that too. But one book I would suggest, and last year this book changed my life. It's Emotional Healthy Spirituality by Peter Scazzaro.
Mhm,
I highly recommend that book. But I would say this to what you were just saying, Chizzy,
mhm.
and even on my journey, man, because probably about 3 or 4 years, well, longer than that, I ran from the things God was calling me to do.
Mm,
I was done with. I said, God, I give you a little bit of this, but I'm
mm,
not fully giving myself.
come on.
And I got into a point that I started listening to the Tupac. I started listening to the Nipsey, but all of that stuff getting in me, it wasn't good for me.
You'd be surprised
Mm,
how that small shift matters a lot, man. Music especially, like it's very influential because it gets the repetition of it all gets in your subconscious. And
Yeah,
believe it or not, even today, to your point, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but even today when I'm, when I wake up, I'm listening. I'm driving to the gym maybe 2 or 3 hours ago. I'm saying I know the space that I want to be in, so let me be intentional in terms of what music I'm listening to. So I'm cruising to like Maverick City, Gyro. I'm cruising to um, I can't remember the other song. You kind of exposed me to when we was at the conference the last time, at the retreat the last time. But that intentionality of the music is super, 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 super important. Sorry, go ahead.
And even conversations.
Yeah.
Because I'm at a point in my life, there's certain conversations I'm not even trying to have. Bro, listen,
Come on,
I
Noel.
will get off the phone with you in the quickness. If you talking all that negativity, and everybody knows that now, I'll be like, hey, I'll sit there for a minute, I'll get real quiet, and then I tell you, hey, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Funny.
hey, bro. Listen, I gotta give you a story. So it's your responsibility
Mhm.
as a mature adult, and this one I say you're not a mature adult, to discern a person's spirit if they trying to argue or if they want to answer. Shout out to Pastor PD. It's like
Yeah.
you're responsible to see, is this person trying to argue or want to answer. I was at LA Fitness last year. I'll never forget
Mhm.
playing ball in my space, whoop de whoop with the men, and it's more men like mid-30s, mid-40s is the general group age. And it's just like the common area outside the game where you're ready for wait for the next game or whatever. My man's like first you're arguing about who won, who lost, who fouled, who did whatever. Then women come up. And my man says, and this is my first time seeing my man, being around my man, whatever.
Yeah.
And he makes a statement about hitting women. And then
Like
somebody says, like, that's not right, or ha ha he. Like, he's like, nah, man, it's okay to hit women if they like to be physical. Man, while this guy was talking, I packed my bag. My my man next to me said, "You out on that statement?" I said, "Bro, I'm out. I can't even be because I can look at my man. He not looking for an answer of what's right or what's on principle. He's sitting there posturing with shoulders and tattoos and trying to explain to everybody. I'm like, bro, I'm not finna sit here and listen to this garbage.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
out immediately. Like I want to be crystal clear. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you know what? Let me hear his perspective. Bro, you so far off,
Yeah.
I'm gone. And we got to understand, like, part of our responsibility is boundaries. As we're competing against our best self, and Chizzy, I'm going to give it back to you to give you your two things. But part of that responsibility of knowing what to do is being clear on what not to do. And to you guys' point, who not to let in
Yeah.
at this time of my life and what not to let in at this time of my life. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny
Yeah,
you say
Chizzy.
that. I was thinking about it. My non-negotiables are no. So no, no. So no looks like, similar to what you're saying. No looks like I'm not entertaining any negative energy or negative spaces. I'm not doing the whole gossip thing. I'm not doing anybody. If you're not trying to pour into me or be poured into, I'm gonna say no. And
Yeah.
no, it's not an intentional no. We can't talk or nah. I don't want to hear that. I just don't reach out. I don't communicate. I just let. I've determined in my lifetime now that if you're not reaching out to me on a regular basis to pour into, and we're talking about stuff that's going to advance both of us, no matter what type of relationship it is, then that's my no. Like, I'm hard about that no. And my other one is yes to me. So mine is simple: no to you, yes to me. And that sounds crazy to
I
some people
love it.
because
I
no
love it.
simply no means that it's still my yes. So I'm going to dictate who I let into my space, who I engage with, because I'm competing against me. So if I'm competing against me, I know the old me said yes to a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm saying the new me I'm trying to be is saying yes to everything that I need to advance this new person. Because when I look in the mirror, that guy that's looking at me is gonna be like, bruh, like you're that same guy. I just say yes to everybody. I'm like, nah. I'm saying no and yes to me. And it's not a selfish thing, it's an intentionality around who am I trying to be? What do I need in my space at this present moment in my life that's going to advance me, that's going to pour into me spiritually, psychologically, financially? Yes, yes, yes is me. No is not about you. It's about me. And I think sometimes as men, what we fail to do sometimes is prioritize us, because part of who we are is in giving mode and saying yes and being a provider and being so much to so many people, and you lose sight of yourself. And as the saying goes, if you have no cup, if you have nothing in your cup to pour from, they're useless to anyone. And so you have to prioritize yourself first. So my main two, for those who are in the cheap seats who didn't hear it, was no to you and yes to me. So that's my answer. So that looks like every day. My yes looks like ensuring that when I wake up every morning, I'm on my knees thanking God, starting from a place of thankfulness, because as much as we want to advance in our careers and advance in our lives, life, breath, and strength and a roof over our head is not promised. You can wake up. Something funny to say. You can wake up dead tomorrow, so to speak.
Yeah.
The appreciation of life itself means that you're always standing in humility and appreciation that God has provided you with another day, to do what's necessary for you. So those are my yeses: my prayer life, my gym routines, my devotionals, my journals. That's encouraging yes to me, and it's okay to be selfish for yourself in a season of your life.
Come on.
That
Tell it,
doesn't
Chizzy.
mean sacrifice your responsibilities. It doesn't mean you're not still being a good steward of what God has blessed you with. It just means that you recognize that you have to build up you so that you can, in turn, give whatever you need to the people that are around you and your loved ones and the people that you support daily. So,
Yeah, I love
so
it. Go
yes.
ahead, Noel.
I'll tell you, Chizzy, what you just said, it correlates with a book that I'm currently reading right now
Mhm.
by Mel Robbins. She just recently dropped this book. It's called The Let Them Theory.
Let them.
And, and she started breaking down the let them theory, but then she also said she realized that I can't just not only just let them, but I also gotta let me.
Yeah.
And the let them theory is people are gonna be people. They're gonna act the way they act,
Mhm.
and we can't control the way they act. We can't you can't control the way your kids. Well, in some cases you can. She breaks that down too,
Right.
but you can't control the way your coworkers act, the way your friends act. Just let them be what they be, but also let you, which is dismiss yourself from that conversation,
Yeah.
because I don't have to sit there for it. So I'm not trying to entertain. I'm not trying to entertain nobody by trying to tell them what they shouldn't be thinking, how they should be. If you want to have that conversation, we can have the conversation. But if it's going to be one sided, like Crump said, and you're not listening to nobody else, I'm just going to let you think what you want to think, because
Mm-hmm.
it's not worth the time. It's not worth the energy. It's not worth
Come
the
on.
stress.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
What's
I
your two?
love it. I love it, man.
What's your
Go ahead,
two?
Chizzy.
Two non-negotiables. What's your two non-negotiables for you?
Yeah. Man, I'm loving the conversation. I'm loving the gems. And as we talk about, we want to put a healthy narrative around what we say competition.
Yeah.
Because again, we're talking about healthy masculine competition is not in the aspect of you just want to be ambitious in life and you want to beat somebody else. You just want to be a better version of you because that's healthy for you. Shout out to Chizzy again. Like you want to be selfish in I need to eat right, drink right, listen. And shout out to that particular piece. I want that to be a major takeaway of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
In your transportation of going A to B, make sure you have the proper podcast, the audio book,
Facts.
worship music in your ear. If you guys could lock that in for the next 30 days, that hey, I'm not just gonna let random radio and news and updates shock my system and shock my world. I'm not just gonna let whatever the DJ feels like that's hot in the secular world. And no, I'm gonna think about here's the next podcast. I'm gonna and shout out to the Boy Man King podcast. You can put us in that list. But here's the top 5 podcasts I'm gonna listen to. Here's the top 3 audiobooks I'm gonna listen to. Here's my worship playlist. and I'm just gonna reset, recalibrate the next 30 days. I love you guys giving that sauce. But one of the things you guys have been working on behind the scenes that I want to kind of take this episode, shout out to Noel, all the incredible work you've been doing on the platform. But you and Chizzy are really on the front lines of men in the sense of our online community and the online interaction. And one of the things you guys have been bringing to my attention for over a year now is we need community. And talk about the things that you guys, number one, why community is so important. Because sometimes we take it for granted. Me being a hooper, I was always on the basketball team. But what you're not processing when you're always on the basketball team, as a high school kid,
Yeah.
I'm always on the basketball team in college. I'm on the basketball team as a man with the national team and pro. I always got a group of men who I can rock and roll with, right? That is headed towards a common goal, right? And so I left that, joined a fraternity. So for me, it's like when I look back on my life, I always had a crew. Now, sometimes they were just in subset categories, but a lot of men are struggling because they're just going to work and they're going home alone, right? They go to work. It's an online job with a headset, or they're a gamer, or they're working from home, and there's a lot of isolation, and a lot of these factors that are men are struggling with is because they just either organically or like the subset socials or just intentional spaces where they just don't have community with men who are on a common goal. And so talk about number one, why that's so important, and talk about the spaces you guys are working to create.
Yeah, I mean, we know as men, we always have a desire to be around individuals that are like minded. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of like minded doesn't necessarily mean, pro social activities. There are a lot of antisocial
Mm,
minded individuals around that. Obviously, we're not speaking to that. So I just want to clarify that we are endeavoring to create a space for like-minded men, similar to what we do here, so that men can come and be supported, one, and to be vulnerable in a space on a regular basis, so that that sense of community gives them another outlet for whatever they're struggling with in their lives. So we kind of, now me and Noel kind of talked about this last week sometime, and brought it to the team. And so you can expect in maybe the next month and a half for us, Boy Man King, relentless motivational speakers on the couch to do a cross collaboration in creating a safe group setting environment online for men to tap in once a week, every week, consistently, so that they can get supported, so we can start to build that community, because a lot of brothers are struggling in isolation. Obviously, that's why we created this platform, but I think it's super important for men to know and understand that there's a consistent time and date that they can just go and be poured into and just talk with men who are on a similar journey for bettering themselves. So this is a plug for this particular endeavor that we're doing. I'll let Noel expand a little bit more. So we're gonna host it. He's gonna co-host. We're gonna have other brothers, Crump's gonna jump in. We're gonna have therapeutic people on site who can kind of give you more intentionality in terms of if you need, struggle in your mental health and you need a therapist on site. We're gonna source and start to now allocate resources to men in this particular format, so that they can be supported and we can now start a process of reshaping these narratives of men just struggling in silence, men just not feeling supported. And so that's what we're endeavoring to do. I'll throw it to Noel, man. He could expand a little bit more if he wants to, and
I,
get some other nuggets.
well, I'll say this: even when it comes to community,
Mm-hmm.
and I as I'm getting older and even maturing even more, community is very important.
Sure.
mm,
And before joining with you guys, I was on a lone island.
Yeah.
mm,
And this is why I realize community is important, because there are a lot of men experiencing different situations with their wives, with their kids, that
Yeah.
their thinking is just them.
Sure.
mm,
I didn't know that the stuff that I was going through with my wife, I didn't know that there was other men experiencing this. Even
Absolutely.
the struggles that I was is having as on my own as a man, I didn't know that there were other men experiencing this, and not only experienced it, but made it through it. And
that part.
that and that community, because iron sharpens iron. So that iron sharpening me is very important. And we're here, we're going to sharpen the other men and encourage the other men, give the men the hope. And because there are men now that are so discouraged, that feel beaten down.
Yeah,
And it's time to strengthen the brothers.
for sure, for sure. And don't get me wrong, like we're not standing on ceremony and saying, we have the answers and we're going to be. This is 100% cathartic and therapeutic for me. So I remember that Hair Club for Men commercial. I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm a member. Like that's kind of what I lean towards for myself. Is like this is therapeutic for me. I get an opportunity to be able to speak, to be able to be in association and build community and have a community of brothers that's going to keep me accountable. Because as we know, it's a journey. And when you're on a journey, there's never a fixed destination. The fixed destination is being better, and that takes years, months, weeks to achieve. But if you continuously function as we endeavor to do on a journey mindset, that means every day is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to be better. And the goal is to never fully arrive. Because I think sometimes we have this thing in our minds that once you arrive at a destination, that the work is done. I think if you're continuously building and you continuously got a journey mindset, you always look to better yourself, to better the people around you, and that's a daily choice that we make. So this sense of community is something that I'm excited about. We've been talking about it for a long time, like Crump said. So we're definitely going to actualize this in the short term. So look out for promos for it. It's going to be online, so you don't have to show up to location. All you need is a computer, and all you need is to have access. We're going to start it off for 1 hour, one day out of the week. Stay tuned for more information on that, but we're going to start to create this community so men could be supported and we can just have a continuous safe space around some of the things that we discuss here on the platform. So I'm
And I
excited.
love it, man. I love it. And so we talked about competition, right? We
Mm,
talked about community. And I think when you have competition in a healthy narrative
yeah,
as a mature male and embracing even your masculinity with it, and also you got healthy community to kind of like I think I love what Noel said is not just somebody who kind of been through what you've been through, but made it through. Like
sure.
that is very important that you get somebody who like, oh, okay, it's possible.
Because he provides hope.
And I think what those two do, which is our ultimate goal, even with this platform, is to provide this, which is the most powerful thing for every man to have, is
Mm-hmm.
clarity.
Yeah,
It's because when you don't have clarity, now you start to get caught up in confusion. And what we want to make sure that, man, I think some of the things that bring shame, anxiety, is depression is like I'm this age or I'm at this stage and I'm still not clear on who I am. I'm still not clear on what I want. I'm still not clear on what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And so I want to tie this back in. I want to get you guys feedback. What I love what Chizzy says, and I say a quote, we never arrive, we always evolve. And as we say in our motto, the journey continues, is when I remember when I got my college degree, I stood up and pumped my fist like I was in a movie, Noel. Turned and looked at my dad. We did it. I'm 22 years old, first one in my family, made it out the hood, got a college degree in business, got the cap and gown on. The whole family's in the back of the gym. I'm like, we about to go out to dinner. My whole world's about to change. My whole family's about to change. And you just realize, you just graduated.
yeah,
That's all that happened. That's all that happened, bro. You gotta go to work in the morning, bro. That's the only thing that happened. You just graduated. And then like I cut my baby's umbilical cord. I washed a little, blood off her. And she with her eyes closed, she grabbed my pinky. I tell her the story all the time. Still got a razor. Like it just started. Like in your mind, these moments, the marriage, the children, the graduation, the certificate, the employment, the promotion, in your mind,
yeah,
this means that your life is going to be easy. And I tell people all the time, especially because I've been in leadership for so long, I have no desire for leadership. My wife even tells me to shut up sometimes. She's like, you so talented, let's go open up. I said, no, no, no. I know the weight. It comes with more money. It comes with more responsibility. It comes with more expectations. I
yeah.
said, if God desires it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am being honest with this. I feel like I'm personally sabotaging in real time,
Mm-hmm.
influencing people right now. because I think I've been doing it too long. Where I'm like, nah, I ain't. Chris, but we need you. Chris, can you come? Nope. I think I said sometimes, shout out to the No Ministry from Chizzy.
Yeah, you already
But
know.
sometimes, if you be honest, you're saying no because you're scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and my fear is not that I'm scared of someone. I'm just fearful of the responsibility again to carry as I'm just getting into my groove on my personal self.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
okay,
think
now I got to carry this weight, now I got to carry that weight, and I've always been carrying weight since I'm 18. So now 22 years in, 24 years in, I'm like, I'm tired of carrying weight, Noel. You know what I mean? Like I just want to. I never did a guy trip in my life. I never did a single trip by my life, just overseas somewhere by myself. Like I've always had to be taking care of somebody and somebody living with me since I was 18 years old. And so for me, I'm in that weird space of like, I'm clear. I gotta be the best version of myself, but I'm also blurry because I'm saying no to what God is kind of like constantly bringing me to the same place that's more in the ministry space, right? Because I've done personal development, I've done professional development, I've done executive leadership, but God's always like, He literally like, if you had a magnet to your body and your body keeps gravitating, like I keep like leaning towards ministry. I'm like, nope,
you can only run for
I'm
so
not
long.
doing it.
You can
I'm
only run
not
for so long.
starting it. I'm not collaborating with nobody. I'm not doing it. So I'm clear, but at the same time, I'm cautious.
Yeah.
I give the floor back to you guys.
Well, I'm gonna say this because I know that journey very well, very well, and you can only wrestle for so long
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
because eventually you're gonna get hit in the hip, Jacob.
So,
And trust me, and I tell anybody this, and I know this, but sometimes because I'm so hard headed, I still think I'm gonna beat God. But
Mm.
what happens is sometimes God will put us in a corner
Mm.
just to get our attention. And I've seen it. I've seen it where He put me in a corner when I first gave my life to God. I got locked up.
Mm.
Then or it may be my finances may start going through something, or my marriage is going through something. He will use what he can to get our attention. I remember I was telling my coworker this one time. I was like, man, if he can't get your attention at home, he's gonna start using the job. Because one thing about the job, you ain't gonna quit your job because you got to make money.
Mm.
And he's doing something to try to get your attention, but it's one of those, how long will it take? Because
Mm.
thy will be done on earth as
Mm.
it is in heaven. And I was just thinking about this earlier last night or this morning. We constantly say the Lord's Prayer, but do we really mean the Lord's Prayer?
Mm.
yeah.
So we're asking Him for His will to be done, but when He shows us the path of the will that He wants to be done, it's like, are you really gonna take it now?
Mm. Ouch.
Sheesh.
I,
You said it
That's
on
funny. You,
purpose.
Crump. You feel it, right? You feel it. I know you feel it. I know you feel it. So look, you can consolidate the two. Use what currently you're doing and also be of service to God, which is what you do anyway. So, I don't want you to feel this pressure of I'm kind of running in a different direction. Obviously, we know you're not doing that. God's going to call you to do what you do. He's going to plant that stuff in your heart, and it's going to germinate regardless. You know what I mean? I think you should just find a way to consolidate the two and still, because ministry doesn't have to be standing in front of a church and preaching.
Yeah.
Ministry could simply just being available and being resourceful and sort of providing leadership, spiritual leadership, which is currently what you do anyway. To the people that's around you and just freely giving of your time. So from where I stand, you're kind of already satisfying that. But obviously, this is me on the outside looking in, and I'm your boy.
Yeah.
Help you navigate
Yeah.
that space in a clear way.
Nah, man, it's been just to be honest with you guys, it's been like the last 30 days. I like it's been more than the last 30 days, but like the last 30 days, like everything I watch is spiritual. Like all the podcasts are, and then I'm getting like sick of like seeing people hurt, seeing people lonely. Like it's and then like I walk, and so I'm purposely trying to be incognito in Bermuda, right? I'm working really hard, and Chizzy, it's really hard, right? So, like, Chris, help my son. Woman literally grabbed me by the street on Church Street, Chizzy. I'm trying to get some coffee, and I was trying to get some tea. I was trying to get an a chocolate Oreo latte. That thing was good. And let me go get one of these things. Woman grabbed me, tell me her whole story about her son, and I'm like, that has happened like almost every other time I go outside. People are like, people are hurting. Chris, can you do something? Do you got something? Can you do something? Do you got something? Even you guys saying, Chris, we have your, can you? It's like everything's about, it ain't about money. It ain't about entrepreneurship. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't about, oh, I got an investment up. And I've had energy where people want to do uh, JV deals on real estate and, hey, man, open up a restaurant and, hey, man, I got this idea to do business. Like, a lot of energy has been on my personal time. People are hurting. Chris, can you say something? Can you show up? Can you say something? Can you show up? And I'm just like,
Shout out to the new
and
ministry.
I'm really, I don't even know what to do. Let me stop there. I'm gonna let y'all my brothers. I'm just having an honest rant on y'all.
Man, and I'll say this because I had plans for the last season of my podcast that I just finished up to go a certain way. I had this perfect plan of how it was going to be, but it was like every episode, it was God foundation. It was some kind of way in ministry, and even the content now that I'm creating, that's the path that I'm going on, and now I'm getting responses. Oh, I'm going through this right now. I need the prayer. Man, it's been going crazy on TikTok. Chizzy, I showed you a screenshot. This what makes the content worth it. Because I did a post and I was in the dark. I was outside on the porch at 3:00 in the morning recording content. You couldn't see nothing. Chizzy sending me a message. Hey man, you can't see. I said, I know. But in that same message on TikTok, somebody, talking about they need prayer and they're going through this. And I was like, man, it ain't even about the money, but this is what makes it worth it because I've been through that path. God has taken me through it. And now I'm in my Joseph era when Joseph is second and he only answers to the king. So now I'm here to help my family, go back and help my family because I know there's a drought. I know that there are people hurting. I know that there's people in leadership that feel like they want to give up. So now I'm being that voice in the dark place. Now I'm coming with the relentless mindset. I'm coming with the relentless faith, telling people don't give up. And I promise you, I didn't want to go this route, but here I am. So, and I'm still wrestling a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you, just a little bit.
Man. That's all this kind. You know what I'm saying? The wrestle's real. That's what I was saying. Like, you can still have clarity, even when you got competitive, you committed, you got community, and you clear on what you need to be do, but you still can be like, I'm wrestling with that one, guy. Like that one right there. Now that one, now God, now you're asking a lot out your boy, and it's like, it just, and you just battle with it. It's like a psychological thing, right, Chizzy?
Yeah, I stay praying on revealing and removing. So, reveal to me what your purpose is for my life and remove anything that's beyond that purpose. Sort of thing. So I stay in that space of reveal and remove. And I don't know if that's helpful for the both of you, but you know how that prayer life works. And when you're on your knees and you're asking, God will give you an answer. And
I received that.
It's going to be an answer that you think. It's not going to say yes or no. It's going to give you an opportunity to reflect. It's going to give you an opportunity to demonstrate strength. If you need to be patient, it's going to give you an opportunity to demonstrate patience and you grow your patience. So, similar. Again, all of these conversations are cathartic and therapeutic and helpful for me because it just reaffirms how, the more I stay on my knees, the more they answer me.
I love it, Chizzy. That spoke to my heart, man.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to just encourage you, go for it, because this is encouraging to me. You guys know the season that I'm in, being in this new space and trying to still go to school and trying to figure this next journey that I'm on as well. And as you said, like sometimes it could be rough. Like you're like you wanna, but then you're like that little person shows up, and you're like, nah, this is not. This is
Come
how
on,
it
old
is.
person shows up.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
I
very
can't
important.
stand the old person, bro. I can't stand that old version of me, bro. He's so irritating. He's
All that,
ratchet. He's
all that,
poor.
it's
He's
like,
hood.
yeah,
He's selfish. He's prideful. He's angry. I'm
all
like,
that.
my old person is a demon, bro. That joker's terrible. Like, sabotage everything.
Facts,
How do
facts.
y'all deal with that old person? Because he's still there. Like, how do y'all deal with that old person, bro?
That's what that there's reps. There's prayer reps getting in,
Yeah.
bro. There's prayer reps. You gotta get them in because that little because people, you know the enemy, right? When you're trying to go this way, the enemy's gonna say, "All right, I see you making moves, bro. Let's see what you're really about." It's gonna
Mm,
push something in a direction to test if you're actually fake going that way or you're really going that way. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're
mm,
able to anticipate the attack before it comes, then you know how to prepare for the attack before it even gets there.
mm,
It's like the difference. And you are a chess player. There's the difference between knowing 2 and 3 steps ahead, so that you
mm,
know the shield you need, the sword you need, the protection you're gonna need because you know the attack's coming. So no matter if you're getting prepared for it or not, or what you're gonna need to be prepared. So prayer is helpful in that particular in that regard. Continue to read your Bible, and I'm talking to myself, and I'm talking to you, just being truthful. And I'm
mm,
saying these things because a lot of times we say a lot because it sounds nice, but are we really practicing it? So this for me is
mm,
my way of saying, all right, bro, you're saying it, let's live it. I think that's the struggle of a Christian. That's the struggle for man of God, because the routine of the day can sometimes cause you to just be in the routine. And so if you have to be able to evaluate um, your intentionality from the perspective of the outcome that you're trying to gain every day. Because if it just becomes regimented in the routine, it's more about just doing it for the sake of doing it. You don't really gain from it. As opposed to really, really immersing yourself and shedding your flesh, immersing yourself and building and breaking down that old God. Because you know it's coming, you know it's there. And every day is an attempt to do so. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'll say this, man, and shout out to my guy Derek, man.
mhm.
He posted something on dang, what's the name of that new platform Instagram got?
Threads.
Yeah, Thread. He posted something on Threads, and he said that the devil isn't dead, but he's defeated, but he's not dead. And
Mm.
and I
That's so
think
good.
yeah, and the thing is, and I tell people this a lot, and it seems like it doesn't register with a lot of people in the faith community. We're always talking about the devil this, the devil that, but we don't real what we fail to realize is he's already defeated.
You think
Mm,
somebody's relentless? That Joker's relentless. Hear me? This
Yeah,
this relentless for sure.
yeah, we got somebody that's already defeated, trying to make us feel that we're not worthy of
mm,
of God's love, or we're not worthy of what Jesus did.
mm.
And he's already defeated. He's trying, man. It's kind of like, and I'm sure y'all can relate to this. You got the fans that's dogging out you on the court, but they in the stands.
Yeah.
They ain't put in the work that you've been putting in, but they want to tell you how to play ball.
The biggest
And
critic.
and and Noel Chizzy cusses them out every time they say something too. I tell you, I could as a witness. And bro, he was cussing them every time. Don't say nothing to him while
I
he's
used to
out
tell
there
my
hooping.
parents like, look, don't you can't. I had to do the disclaimers like, look, if you come to my
Yeah.
game,
No,
just
but
know.
but but I want to make a really good point, Noel, that I think is actually very important. Um, I think we're just here, man, to face space, bro. Like God made everything in the earth. It was good, right? God made man. It was like I made him in my image, but he's not good. I gave him a woman. When you look at Genesis, right? And I encourage anybody to study like the first 3 chapters.
Mhm.
Is it's interesting that the devil showed up not as a demon, but he showed up as a serpent. But snakes are supposed to be in the garden. So he didn't want to show up like he's not supposed to be there. He want to show up in your life like he's supposed to be there. And then here's the thing. He can't sabotage what God created between Adam and Eve. He can't sabotage God's original plan for Adam and Eve, but he got to convince one of them to self-sabotage.
Yeah.
So like if he wants to just think about it, if the devil was really like had that much power, he'll kill you right now.
Yeah.
He'll take your job right now. Why wait? Do it now, so he can get all the glory.
Yeah.
He doesn't have no authority on earth. So what he has to do is, hey, Chizzy, let me holler at you for a minute. Don't your wife be getting on your nerves? Noel, let me holler at you for a minute. You know you can't really stand your job, bro. You need to go up there and just blow that sucker up. And people don't realize we have to allow the devil.
Yeah.
We have to literally give him permission to enter and to ruin our situation.
Yes, sir.
Like we have the ultimate authority over him because of what Noel just said. He's already been defeated.
Yeah.
But to what Chizzy's point is, he's relentless.
Yeah.
But we got to be mindful of he's not going to be obvious.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be in the spirit. He gonna be there like he's supposed to be there. They gonna be there like they supposed to be there. It's when you hear him, you're like, you not in the spirit, bro. Yeah. You gotta have an ear to hear, not the gibberish, the intent, the heart of it, spirit of it. Like, oh, nah, you trouble. Like you, he, you trouble. And if I listen to you, even if you somebody say, ouch. Even if you my parent, even if you my child, even if you my spouse, even if you my friend. Because people think it's the foe. He ain't coming as the foe. That's too obvious, Chizzy. Noel, that's too obvious. If he's the foe, Noel, you know, like, what? West side, east side, south side. Who you think you talking to? I'm repping. He ain't coming as the foe. He's not coming as the foe. He's coming through your spouse. He's coming through your children. He's coming through your parents. He's coming through your colleagues. He's coming through your friends. If he's coming through people, that's how he's coming. And you got to be like, when Jesus looked at the disciple, come on, Noel, give him the word. He said, Satan. He told Peter, Satan. Because Peter, he built the church on Peter, who is rock. But at the same time, when Peter was out of pocket, he looked Peter right in the face and say, Satan, you get behind me. Because that ain't Peter talking right there. That's the spirit in you. Yeah. And we got to be spiritually mature to be able to call out our spouse, our parents, our children, our colleagues, and our friend and say, you my friend. You my colleague. But that's a demon. That's the devil. And I'm not letting that enter in. Not happening.
And I say this because you just said something that kind of triggered me now. So, and I've been telling people this a lot lately because this is one thing I learned. You got to be careful with how you're guarding your emotions, because if not, you let your flesh, your emotions leave them wide open or open wound. You will mess around and you will make your emotions a god. Because you're listening to the voice of your emotions, and your emotions will have you all the way out in left field when you should have been in the right field. Because your emotions...
You done hit Chizzy upside the head. Chizzy almost fell over in his chair. Noel, Chizzy almost fell over in his chair. What do you do to Chizzy?
But your emotions would tell you, no, I wouldn't deal with that. No, I wouldn't take that. You gonna sit there and let them say that? No, you need to go ahead and your emotions will make you leave a situation that God has ordained for you to stay in. Because of one moment that you was in your emotions. And then when you finally wake up, then you realize I just ate the fruit and God told me not to eat the fruit from the get-go.
Yeah, hit Chizzy again. Chizzy about fell out of the chair twice, bro. Man, leave that man alone. Noel, you stop. You stop, Noel. Chizzy, speak and protect yourself, man. Protect yourself from this man, Chizzy. You better compete. You better compete, Chizzy. He's knocking you out, man.
Shout out to the old versus the new, man. That's what I'm gonna say. Shout out to the old versus the new. And in this season, man, yeah, like obviously, you know, what you're speaking about resonates with me, and I'm pretty sure resonates with all of us while we're sitting here. But I'm just so happy and grateful for God's grace and my ability to shed that ill part of me and reach the man that I'm trying to be and I'm endeavoring to be every day. Let's make no mistake about it. Every day you gotta check yourself. Every day you gotta renew your mind. Every day is a new opportunity. So I'm thankful because if I'm not making that attempt every day, bro, the emotions, the reactionary responses, you know, having the wrong people in your ear, you ain't got discernment, you know, you're not able to identify when people is trying to make you win versus making you lose. You just stay in a place of being stuck. And it's probably true, you know what I mean? So I'm just thankful to be able to have a greater listening ear. I'm a call, you know what I'm saying, for the Holy Spirit, for things that I know I struggle with daily. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. I appreciate that. I appreciate that love.
Hey, I was like, dang, Chizzy, what did he do to you? But Noel, man, we really want to say on behalf of the Boy Man King platform family, thank you, bro. Like, thank you for just the sacrifice, the commitment, the professionalism, the consistency, the discipline and determination that you have provided to this platform. That thousands of men all over the world have been able to be blessed to consume the Boy Man King podcast. And we have hundreds of people that experience us in person. And we're just so grateful and thankful that you joined this team, that you reached out to me to say, bro, what do you need? I got your back. And I was looking for a ride or die in the tech space, you know, to really make sure the platform is secure, that it's safe, and I could trust somebody. Man, you have been a gem that over 3 years we've been able to build this platform. And man, you know, it's just amazing to see what God has allowed us to do. You know, I love the piece that Marcus Y. Rozier did. We got over 1,000. We almost got 1,500 subscribers. If we would see all our subscribers in one room, it will blow our minds. And I think sometimes we get so caught up on comparison is the thief of joy. But I refuse to let the devil trick me, to let the algorithm trick me. I know for a fact that thousands of people all over the world has consumed the Boy Man King podcast, and numerous people have actually reached out to say thank you. Numerous people have reached out to say they want to be a part of this platform. We just had somebody reach out from Canada. Like, people are constantly saying, "Listen, man, what you guys are doing." And then they get on our, when the guests come on our platform and say it's an honor to be on this platform, that is to Noel's credit. And so I want to thank you for being the glue. I want to thank you for being the quarterback behind the scenes, running everything, man, on behalf of me, Chizzy, the entire team, my wife. Man, we really, really appreciate you and all the sacrifice and commitments that you have provided to make this platform what it is, bro. I'm extremely grateful for you.
I want to share a sentiment as well, man. And just from a friendship and a brother perspective, I feel like I found a true friend and a brother. You know, we didn't grow up together. We didn't know each other way back in the day. I'm not a day one. You ain't my day one. And I don't say that to be disparaging, but I really feel like at any given moment in my life, we talk all the time outside of the court, obviously. But I think at any given moment, I could reach out to you. You could reach out to me. I think we have a brotherhood, which to me is probably more important than the actual work that you do behind the scenes. The amazing work that you do, you know, that's important, yes, and it drives the platform. But I think your spirit and your authenticity and your commitment to the brotherhood and the friendship and the solidarity that we share, you know, I really, really, really openly appreciate that, man. And I'm glad I can call on you, and you can call on me whatever you need to feel supported, man. So I just want to openly thank you for just showing up in your authentic self day in and day out, man. It's always an honor talking with you and having you on the platform. That's definitely greatly appreciated and needed at this phase of my life as a friend. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, and Noel, we'll let you close it out with the final thoughts, bro.
Man, first, man, y'all got me all emotional over here, but yeah, I appreciate y'all. Even when it comes to the platform, man, every year I'm looking at how can we make it better. You know, Chizzy, we have those talks at the end of the year. What can we do to make things better? And I'll tell anybody that has a desire that they want to do this year, just get started. It's not going to look perfect at the beginning, but you grow as you go.
Yeah.
And don't get discouraged. Don't compare yourself to everybody else. Just stay in your lane, stay focused, and go forward with what you know, and everything else will be added to you.
Facts. Man, you got an episode coming up next week, man. Not this week, but the following week.
Yeah.
So obviously, we want our viewers and our listeners.
And listen, man, this has been another great episode of the Boy Man King Pod. Man, we thank you guys so much for tapping in. But check out our latest and greatest episode with King Noel coming out. And man, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And man, let everybody knows, man, that this is the platform that's safe for men to get the game, to get the sauce that they need to be the best version of themselves. Listen, and as we say on the Boy Man King podcast, the journey continues, man. We out. Y'all have a blessed one, man. Peace.
Peace. That was.